Hey students, welcome to Checkpoint 4 for your music video unit. So right now where you are in your pacing calendar is hopefully it's Thursday and you therefore are watching this video. To complete this document that we're about to go over, you will also have Friday to complete the first half and Monday of next week to complete the second half. So you have a couple days on this. But let's get started with getting your video going so that you know what you're doing. So what you're actually doing for this activity is you're going to watch your music video and you're going to select 10 quotes or scenes from the video that you think are most complex or important. And then the quotes should be quotes. And the scene should be briefly described with a timestamp from the video. So you need 10 of those. Then you are going to, from the title and lyrics, select 5 words that you think are the most important words. And you're going to give a denotative definition. And we're going to go over what that means in a minute. Then you can take the same 5 words, or maybe 5 different words, and you're going to go over the connotative significance. And again, we're going to talk about what that means in a minute. And then using all the information that you gathered from questions 1 through 3, you're then going to, for question 4, determine what the tone of the music video is, or tones, because sometimes there's multiple tones. Sometimes a song starts out with one tone and ends with a different tone. Sometimes there's even 3 or 4 tones. You're going to say what the tone is, and then from above, you don't have to come up with 3 new pieces of evidence. From the evidence you've already collected above, you're going to put the 3 most important things that you think created that tone or tones. So now to complete this document, you have a couple things that we might need to review. So let me go to my presentation. It's 6 slides, and we're going to cover what these terms mean so that you know how to fill out the document. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So you're in your analysis round 2. So far you've already selected your music video and you've gone through kind of your first round of analysis in which you just gave your first take and first impressions as to what you thought the music video was about. You answered like those 6 questions. Now let's dive into actually analyzing. So in the document, I ask for you to find 5 words from the title or the lyrics, or possibly 10, depending on if you use the same words or not, and to tell me the denotative and connotative meaning of those words. So let's start with what connotative means. So connotative meaning is kind of the cultural significance. If you look at a word here in North Carolina, people might perceive that word differently than over in California on the West Coast. And people in Canada might perceive the word differently versus people in England versus people in New Zealand. And then when you start talking about words in different languages, the connotative meaning can change even more. So words mean different things to different groups of people. So the practice I want to do to show you this is for the word monster, the word beast, the word critter, and the word creature, go ahead and order those in your head or on a piece of paper if you want to really quickly from what you consider most frightening to least frightening. So go ahead and do that. Of these 4, what's most frightening, what comes in 2nd, 3rd, and then what's in 4th place, which is the least frightening. So for most frightening, you may have put beast or maybe monster, but it would definitely go 1 or 2 or 1 then 2. These are definitely the 2 more frightening. And these are probably later in your list as 3 or 4, where I ordered it 1, 2, 3, 4, with critter being the least frightening because it sounds so gosh darn cute. And so the way the words sound have a lot to do sometimes with how we connotatively think of them. So critter sounds really adorable, while beast sounds very scary. And so this falls into connotative meaning. But there's also other words that have really important connotative meanings. So for instance, the word freedom has a lot of connotative meaning behind it, where it's a very important word in the United States because the US was built off the idea that people are free. And so there's a lot of emotions loaded behind that, where some people are free, but not all people are equally free, and therefore we have this charged kind of sometimes anger, sometimes intensity, sometimes a desire for change. All of these things fuel this one word's connotative meaning, and so connotation can be really complex. What's not as complex is denotative meaning. So while connotative meaning has a lot of complex significance, denotative meaning is more direct. It's the dictionary definition. So if I went and started flipping through my dictionary and looked up these words, I would find that monster is defined as an imaginary creature that is typically large, ugly, and frightening. Oh, poor monster. Beast is an animal, especially a large or dangerous four-footed one. Critter is a living creature, an animal. And creature is an animal as distinct from being a human. So the reason why denotative meanings are really important is because they help us see kind of like subtleties in the word that maybe before we didn't know. So for instance, with monster, monsters specifically have to be large, ugly, and frightening. That's very specific. So therefore, I don't know if this guy down here is actually a monster because he's not large. I think he's cute and not ugly, and he's not really frightening. So he's not a monster. Before I would have maybe said he was, but now that I look at the denotative meaning, I realize due to the subtle meaning of it, he is not. For a beast, an animal, especially a large or dangerous four-footed one, well, he's definitely not a four-footed animal. So therefore, he doesn't fit the denotative meaning of a beast. Critter, a living creature, an animal. Well, yeah, he's definitely a critter. A lot of things are critters based upon that denotative meaning. And then a creature, an animal as distinct from a human being. Yes, he's very distinct from a human being. Humans do not go around carrying their eyeballs, luckily, hopefully. So here we know, based upon the denotative meaning, that this little guy down here could be a critter or a creature, but he could not be a monster or a beast. And so denotative meaning helps us better understand what the word is actually saying. Now, what do we do with denotative versus connotative words? Well, those words help create tone versus mood. So the words that an artist chooses to use in their lyrics are going to be what creates the tone. And the tone that the artist creates then creates the mood. So let's practice tone and mood here. So tone is how the author feels about the subject. And we can see that in how we have three very different tigers. So consider for this first tiger, how does the author feel about tigers? Well, the author definitely thinks tigers are cute. They think tigers are silly, and they might think tigers are playful. And so the tones would be silly, playful, cute. And we see that reflected in this drawing of a tiger. Because that's how the author feels, that then creates a mood in me. So for instance, the tone of silly and playful creates a happy mood in me, where I feel happy when I look at that smiling tiger. Hey, tiger. So that's how tone and mood works. However, we have a very different tone here with this tiger. The author clearly feels that tigers are beautiful, majestic, admirable. And because of that, when I look at this tiger, my mood actually kind of matches their tone, where I am admiring and impressed by this tiger. So the tone of the author creates a mood in me. And here again, for the third time, we have a very different tone. That's why the drawings are so different. Here, the tone is intense and aggressive. That's how the author feels about his or her subject. And so when I look at it, my mood is then anxious or fearful. And so the tone that they take with the tiger creates a mood in me. And so that's how tone and mood works. So you have connotative and denotative meanings, which create a tone, and then the tone create some mood. And this can be with many things. So it can be with pictures, but it can also be with fonts even. So this is a silly toned font. Now, if I'm in a bad mood, this silly font might make me feel annoyed. I don't like that silly font. The tone of this font is more sophisticated, and therefore the tone of sophistication might make me feel the mood of being impressed. The tone of this font might be futuristic, and therefore my mood might be excited because I love the future. So the tone of things create moods in the audience. And now you guys will be doing this for actual music videos. You'll be determining the connotative and denotative meaning of words in the title and lyrics. And you'll also be deciding the tone that the author is intending or the artist is intending. And then you'll have a mood that you feel because of it. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I determine the tone of a music video? You do that through their use of lyrics, instrumentation, and visuals. So when you list the 10 things, it can be any of these. You can list 10 instances of lyrics, 10 instances of instrumentation, 10 visuals, or mix them all together and have like 3, 3, 4. Up to you. So let's go ahead and practice really quickly with this Chance the Rapper video. We won't be able to watch the whole thing, just the beginning, but we'll be able to get enough of it where you can kind of see what we're looking for. So I will name the things I would maybe list in my list of 10. So we have to wait for the music video to start.
You can manage your team's work easily with
I want to
Monday.com.
talk to you. I want the music
Just
video.
go to Monday.com and start tracking any project or workflow in minutes.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, minutes. What?
Minutes.
You don't...
Okay, let's go to the music video. Okay. So on my list, I might note that it starts with a little boy walking down the street. I might note how the sky is super blue behind the city.
I got my city doing front flips.
I might note how Chance is flying through the sky and he looks like a superhero.
Clean up the streets so my daughter can have somewhere to play.
Alright, so I'm going to pause there because I already have a ton of things I could use. So on my list, I might say that it starts off with the little boy, that there's a bright blue sky behind the city. We also see the bright blue sky here. In my list, I could put that Chance the Rapper is flying like a superhero. I might mention kind of the yellow squiggly lines that are drawn around his goggles. For lyrics, I might put the fact that he starts off with the word angel, and then he makes his little Chance the Rapper sounds, that like happy squeak squeak. I could also bring in the lyrics of how he wants to clean up the playground so that his daughter can play. And so all of these things are really notable moments in the first 30 seconds of the music video. I didn't even get more than 30 seconds in, and I already have a ton of things that I could add to my list of 10. And so when I go in and add those things, they're going to help me then determine the tone. So here, if I list the little boy, it's not letting me type, yeah, in the red jacket, and then the blue sky, and I keep listing these things. By the time I get to the end, I'm going to say, what tone does this create? And ultimately, I believe that Chance the Rapper, the perspective that he's taking on his topic is one of happiness, one of hope. And so I can use these things that I found to prove that that's what his tone is in that music video. And so that's what I'm looking for you guys to do. All right, but you won't use Chance the Rapper's video, you will use your music video. So I don't want you to be confused there. You selected a music video, so now that we've gone through the presentation, I'd like for you to take today if you want to, but definitely Friday and definitely Monday of next week to complete these different parts. All right, good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you create. Make sure to submit your checkpoints when you're done, and I'll give you some feedback. All right, bye.